This is the Empower Podcast. Released March 20th, 2024. Episode 662. The non-Stinky car.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
Now a proud EV owner.
I am.
One of us.
It took me, I was actually trying to think about like when was like when did the zeitgeist shift when it was like, I don't know. I looked around today. I was at like an event today, and there was just EVs everywhere. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'm very not trailing edge, but like I'm middle of the pack.
Yeah, but
right?
Unfortunately, you're coming down the downside at the moment because don't you know EVs aren't popular anymore?
Well, that would fit the trends of the rest of my life.
On
and
the the trend
trends.
is that like all these automotive manufacturers now going, we don't really want to go down the EV path anymore.
Yeah, no, that is a good
big
point.
thing.
And
Huge
in fact,
companies.
The thing that I ended up getting was a discontinued vehicle.
Oh, it's actually a discontinued model, is it? Okay.
Yeah, they're very likely going to bring it. Yeah, so I got a Chevy Bolt 2023 1LT. So basically almost a 2-year-old model because I think they're already into 25s on some models, or maybe they're.
Oh God,
I don't know where they. Yeah, they always really do that super early.
Yeah.
But like super simple bottom of the line kind of thing, but like great range, and like so they basically discontinued the line Chevy has.
So they don't make the Chevy Bolt anymore.
That's right. And and also to disambiguate, I think a really terrible naming choice. Chevy also used to make a Volt with a V.
Yes,
that was actually
with a V.
Early
That's
hybrid,
right. That was an early hybrid. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And that was so that was like
that was 10 years ago plus or something. Yeah,
it was
that was
at least, and it was I think it was actually electric motor in that, and then there was a very small battery pack with only like 20 miles range. But then the internal combustion engine just charged the battery.
Charges the battery. I think that might have been the go for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It rings a bell.
So then that's long gone, and then the Bolt's been all electric, and now it's discontinued. But they said. Basically, they're just like refactored. They're probably going to reintroduce it in 25 with like the new skateboard design that's going on all the Chevys. So
right, okay,
yep. So
for those who don't know, the skateboard that you're talking about is basically you build the chassis. It's basically a battery with wheels, and then you build the car around that. So it's a common platform you can use for different models, I guess, and you just build the car around that. So yeah, right.
And I think there are new battery chemistry, new controls, whatever. So then they add all the fancy kit around it, like the infotainment and whatever the body's going to be. They all end up looking very similar. But then I think they have different options within that battery family. Maybe they double stack the batteries, or they have different motor sizing, whatever. It is interesting because like you look at like a kind of the new, more modern electric vehicle manufacturers, they seem to be very kind of not one note, but like they because they're often like Tesla's very vertically integrated.
Yep.
There's only 4 models, and even that took a long time to get there. Right. It's not like exactly. Like Chevy has different brand, even within Chrysler, Chevy, I think it is.
Yeah. They have different sub-brands and things.
Sub-brands, right? Yeah, they're huge. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. So
the
I'm chasing
question
that trend,
is,
Dave. Yeah.
How much boot space? How many liters? That's all I care about. How much shit can I carry?
Oh, that is not Dave. Number one, this may be a surprising thing. Number one thing for me was how do the car seats fit in there? Is actually my current life stage
the child
right
seats,
there.
Yeah,
that's all I really care about. And I'm not driving much. I mean, I'm not going to speak in freedom units this entire time, but I only really drive like. I'm mostly just on daycare, pickup and drop off. Like that's pretty much the driver of a lot of my stuff, which is like maybe 5 miles each trip. So like 10 miles a day. And this thing has a 259 mile range.
Yeah, right.
So,
yes, because you'll work from home. So
yeah, I work from home. Exactly. I take the kids to daycare. I come back to home, I kind of feel guilty about it sometimes.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, you need to get an office like me. You can sort of.
I really don't.
Separate.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, no, I love it here. It's great.
All right.
Everything's here, and My kitchen's here. My garbage room is just my garbage.
Yeah, but you don't have a dumpster room like I've got.
I mean, you go to an office, but then you don't actually. I mean, you like talk to people, but like you're not there to see people, right?
No. I see people in the lift and stuff. Doesn't that count? Doesn't that count for social interaction?
I mean, yes, it does. I guess it maybe is more than I have.
Right. Yeah,
I look at people walking their dogs out the window.
That's true.
Does that count?
Right. That's true. I am currently more social than you are. There's something.
Wow. So, didn't expect to have that today.
Yeah. There you go.
There's the low point.
Oh, boy. So how does this thing drive? You actually like it? Do you enjoy it?
It's great. Yeah. I mean, I have very few reference points. So I have bought one other car myself. This is the second car I've ever owned.
Right.
Now in my 40s. And the last car I bought was 20 years ago. And so, and then I did 8 years without a car because I was in Chicago. Yep. Like you shouldn't.
Right. No. You shouldn't have a car in the middle of Chicago.
Having a car in Chicago is kind of
suicide,
a waste.
Right?
Yeah. And so, I haven't had a car in a while, and it's lovely to get back to having a car.
Cool.
Yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is I was charging the car the other day, and it's on the same circuit as it's not a dedicated circuit. I use just the 110.
The slow charger. You're just using the overnight,
which is fine.
Trickle charger.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're only doing 10, 20 miles a day,
exactly.
It's more than enough just plugging the slow charger overnight.
Yeah.
Easy.
I am excited that the charger that comes with it has a 240 converter. I don't know if is that a normal thing? I don't know, like if your car or you guys are 240. Never mind. You guys are 240 to start with. I got there. So in the US, at least, I'm not sure if it's a standard thing, but it has just a secondary like plug. It's a plug pack basically, like you have for your laptop.
Okay.
And it has a 240 attachment that you can just plug into a 240 outlet.
Right.
But I don't have one of those installed.
Yeah,
so
but that's still only the same. To us, that is a trickle charge. Like 240 doesn't mean anything to me. You've got to tell me the ampage. Is it like a 15 amp outlet or something?
Right. It's the 11 kilowatt max. So
it's an 11 kilowatt. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So that is a serious high power.
It's technically it's a level 2. Yeah, it's a level 2 charger.
Yes, that is a level 2 charger.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yes, exactly. But it is with the plug pack. So if you have the right, and it's weird here in the US too, because we have different plug types for 240 based on the amperage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think this is basically what I usually refer to as the dryer vent, the dryer plug.
Right, the dryer port.
That's tons of power, right?
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
So it is
Are you going to install
a
line, like a circuit for it?
Well, that's what I was getting at. So I had my thing trickle charging plugged in, whatever, and then the garage door is on the garage opener is on the same circuit, and I popped the breaker because I was like,
just
the
by
motor
opening
turned on.
The garage door.
I was charging at the max level, so I was charging at 110 volts at 12 amps max. There's like a switch you can do 8 amps, 12 amps, and then I think the draw. I think there's two things. One, I think the instantaneous current when I was turning on the garage door motor, might have made it pop. And I think the breaker, that circuit has had a lot of problems. And then the breaker itself, I think, is actually just on the edge of like failing. Like maybe there's oxidation or something like that.
You Yanks are so weird. I mean, 110 volts at 12 amps, that is only 1,300 watts.
Yeah.
Our standard outlet here is 2,400 watts. Like everyday outlet is 2,400 watts. That's just, I don't understand a 1.3 kilowatt outlet. That's just that's not a thing here.
Wait, what did you say it was? What was the?
Well, you said 110 volts, right? Times 12 amps.
Yeah, no. So the breaker's rated at 20 amps.
Oh, okay, right.
So there's different size breakers too, like you guys have, right? So
and
this one is
I'm
rated
in terms of wattage. It's only 1,300 watts. Jeez.
Well, not if it's 20 amps breaker, though. It's a 20, it's a 20 amp breaker, so that's...
Okay, so it's 20 amp breaker.
That's 2,400, right? Yeah. And so like a standard lighting breaker, this is me, I have never, ever read the National Electric Code, NEC, take all this with a grain of salt. This is my anecdotal evidence looking at breakers. But the standard like lighting breaker is like 15 amps. Then some of the upsized ones, I think
that's a lot for a light breaker. Wow.
Yeah.
I think ours are like 8 or something.
Okay.
Isn't much for a light
double,
circuit.
Right? I mean, so double everything, right? So that's actually
true.
the same. It would be 16, right?
In terms of power,
Yeah, exactly. So, and then some of the breakers, I think you need to have the upsized Romex, like the thicker wire, basically.
Okay.
And then you could do a 20 amp breaker.
Right.
And then if you're past that, then you're into the double breakers. Like there's no 30 amp breaker that goes onto a single slot, like a single phase.
Okay.
If you upsize from that, I think you switch to 40 amps. And maybe there's even switches to 30 amps, and then but then you have to have 2-phase basically.
Yeah. So you got to go to your 240 volt feed instead of your for anything high power. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so
interesting.
I think so. I need to call an electrician. I'm very. I've touched a bus bar by accident before. I'm not
You're scared of mains, same way I am, right? Yeah.
It's a healthier fear where you are than than where I am, but I'm just a chicken, like you said. Yeah. It's So, anyways, I got to call them about this thing. I just want to get it resolved correctly, and they got to pull permits here if you're doing a certain amount of work. So I'm just gonna pay through the nose and have a outlet installed. So
bend over and take it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. You know what? I'll go earn it back making tiny electronics.
Right. Oh boy. Yeah. So you're enjoying the ride. You're enjoying the You're enjoying the silentness. The zero exhaust. It's magic.
Awesome. Yeah, getting back to it. I mean, I was telling my wife about what you had said about like the our previous car, which we still have, is the Stinky car, right? Like you had said,
Stinky car. Yeah, we literally call ours the Stinky car because that's the first thing I noticed when I got an EV is that. Yeah. Oh, there's no smell. Well, because you tend to tune out the smell, right? So you get used to it, and then you go and drive the old Stinky car again. And the first thing you turn on the wind's blowing the wrong way, and it just wafts through the cabin with all the,
totally
exhaust stream. Because you're trying, you start the car up, you're still trying to get kids in and everything, so it's still pumping out the crap out the back, and the doors are open, and the cabin's full of bloody crap. So. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it actually gets cold here, so then you really see it when it's cold here. You really see that exhaust, right?
Yep.
Not that it's
that
smoke,
is not a thing here.
Yeah. You see your dashboard melting.
Yep. Oh boy.
You guys didn't have any fires this year, right? Like big fires like you've had?
No, not really. No.
Good. Knock on wood.
Yep. Knock on wood.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. No. Cool. That's great. Yeah. So it's been very pleasant. The one pedal driving is like a thing. I don't know if that's a thing on every car, but I've getting used to that. That's cool.
Yes. Does yours have the Flappy Paddle brakes? The Flappy Paddles?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. Mine's got the Flappy Paddle, so I can brake with my fingers by braking on the paddle on the steering wheel. Yeah.
There's a button that has a battery symbol on it. I wonder if it's that.
Right. Okay.
If it's like to put it back in the battery.
Okay.
Huh. Yep. I should try that. I should drive this car more, I think.
Right. Yeah. So I mostly try and drive our EV with just the accelerator pedal, and of course, if you take your foot off the accelerator, then it's regen braking. Yeah. But then the Flappy Paddle can give extra regen braking. So I can if I use my fingers on the steering wheel to slow down or stop at the lights and things, and I can almost drive everywhere with just the Flappy Paddle. I don't touch the brake pedal usually. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So overall, very, very positive experience. I'm excited for this future. I was trying to tell my mom. I was just telling my folks, and they were asking well, should we get one? I was like, I don't know. I feel like it's just a pretty easy thing to do. Like plug-in hybrid is I think very easy suggestion these days. I hope we see more.
Yeah, but it totally depends on your lifestyle. I mean, if you don't have the lifestyle to support it, don't buy an EV. They're not for everyone. But I don't know anyone who bought an EV and then just goes, oh, I regret buying this EV. It's a piece of shit. It's like,
well, that's why I said plug-in hybrid. I feel like it's kind of the best of all worlds.
It's probably the best of all worlds, and that's why we were talking about the automotive manufacturers before. How they're not going away from EVs; they're just going away from pure EVs. They're now going. No, the hybrid market is the go.
Bigger for now, right? I think in infrastructure.
Totally. I think in 30 years' time, everyone's going to be driving a pure EV.
Yeah.
most likely.
Yeah, there's funky designs out there too. I'm starting to see like some of the cars, like Ioniq 6. I know you have an Ioniq, right?
I have a 2020 Ioniq, which is pretty boring looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the 6 is like weird looking.
Yep.
The 6.
Yep. Even the 5 was the 5 had that 80s look, had that 80s iconic 80s look. Yeah. It was it was something. So yeah. I would love to get one of those Aptera little pure EV. It's a futuristic and it's solar. It has solar on the roof and everything. So
oh my god! It looks like an airplane without the wings. Basically.
Yes, it looks like an airplane without wings. Yeah. It's great. I would love to get it, and it's cheap. It starts from 20,000 or something, and they claim, you'll never have to charge it because it's got solar panels. But I've actually done a video on that, doing some calculations. It's like, well, it's only got an 800 watt solar panel, so if you're driving every day, good luck. You'll be sitting there for 3 days trying to recharge you.
Yeah. There was a Marquez Brownlee video. He did a review of a Prius that has a thing built in, and he was going through some of the math on that.
Oh, it's tiny. The Prius one's tiny.
It's tiny.
I think. It's tiny. It's like 100 watts or something.
Yeah, but it does have. I mean, but it's not. It's not going to do that. But it's gonna. I don't know. I'll link the video in. It was good.
Yeah, it might give you an extra 5 miles a day, maybe. So you really have to be going right. Okay, yeah, well, exactly right. Yeah. Once again, total lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
But then if you've got a power pole in your front yard or a trees or something like that shade it, you just, it's just dumb.
Totally.
So, yeah.
It does feel a little. Yeah, it's a little gimmicky, maybe, but it's interesting.
No, but I think every EV should have at least a solar roof on it, just because you can and you should. I mean, if you've got an EV that can be, slow charge via a solar panel, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you never ever would be stuck. You would just be stuck for a little while, right?
Well, you might be stuck for a day. In theory, you could,
right.
But
that's true. I guess if you broke down at night. Yeah.
Well,
what would you do? You get your phone flashlight out.
If you've only got an 800 watt panel. All right. Strap your flashlight to the top and now keep going.
Boom. Free energy, Dave.
Free energy. Yeah, that's it. Oh, boy. So does yours, I asked you this before, but you didn't know, it doesn't have vehicle to grid. I don't think it does. I had a quick search
on it. It does not. I looked it up. It did not.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
So it does not even have an adapter to give you a 240 volt power out?
No,
okay,
that's right.
Bummer.
And I think I think they said that when that gets released, they think it will. So
okay, yes. Yeah, because if I bought another EV, I would definitely make sure that it has vehicle to grid.
Yeah. I was surprised
even though I don't want to feed into the grid.
Leaf. Right. You want a backup for your house,
right? Just if you, if you have a house backup, or even if you've, you're going somewhere, you're camping or something, you could, you've got a 240 volt outlet there. You can run all your stuff from your car battery. It just makes sense.
Netflix. There's an episode of Parks and Rec where one of the characters has a super decked out tent with all electronic. He's got a frozen yogurt machine in there.
Yeah, right.
Now that's camping.
Yep, that's great.
That's my kind of camping. Yeah.
I know someone, a friend of mine did rock, who was into rock climbing and mountaineering and everything else, and they actually took a blender with them. While they were rock climbing, so that while they were halfway up the crag, they could sit there on the ledge and they could blend.
Wow!
Yeah, they could actually get a fresh smoothie.
That's extra.
Yeah. That's I don't think they did that all the time. They just did it because they could, for kicks.
Yeah,
kind of thing. But
gimmicks.
Yeah, it's great.
That's still fun. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Welcome to the club.
Thank you. Yes.
Which is now not cool anymore.
There are many of us. Yes.
Yeah. Hybrids. Yeah, because Toyota, I think, were the ones who held off for the longest in pure EVs to make their decision to generate pure EVs, and now they're being proven correct because all the other manufacturers are going. Because some of the other manufacturers are going, we're going to make every car's going to be pure EV by 2026 or something, crazy like that, some crazy, timeline or something. And Toyota went, nah. And now all the manufacturers are going, I think we'll stick with hybrids.
Oopsies, going back. Yeah.
Especially here in countries like Australia, because we just the vast distances here, and we can't go on a road trip with a pure EV. Well, you could, but it's pretty iffy.
The range anxiety.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I did look it up. Nissan got a firmware update, Nissan Leaf, and they do have vehicle to grid. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
but doesn't fit car seats very well. So that's an out. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So you actually checked that one and you actually ruled that out.
No, I had a spreadsheet, man. I had a spreadsheet of all the back, the back seat, headroom, shoulder room, foot room. Right. That's all you care about.
No,
that's
boot space, dude. I'm telling you, boot space is everything. How many liters does that sucker have? I need to know.
I don't know.
What is it? A Chevy Bolt.
23. 1 LT. We don't call it that. It'd be trunk space. It's not too bad. 6.6 cubic feet. What's that?
6 point. Hang on. All seats in place. 16.6 cubic feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. 16 cubic feet.
Cubic liters.
To liters.
470.
470. That's okay.
Volume value by 28.317. Okay. Well, there's a multiplier factor for the day.
It's the multiplier of the day. Yep. Yeah. 470 liters. There you go. That's all right. That's all right.
Good?
Generally, anything over 500, I would consider, pretty decent.
I got 2 suitcases and a backpack in there this afternoon.
Nice.
When my parents went to the airport.
Speaking of bloody cars, my Nissan Duales 2010 model, which is a 7-seater. We got the 7-seater for the extra boot space. I think ours is about 550 litres, by the way, for those playing along at home, which still isn't quite big enough for some of our bigger trips. Like we have a pod which goes on the top, and sometimes we've had to take the pod, especially when the kids were smaller. We have more stuff to take, but now that they're older, we have gotten away without the pod in recent times, but barely. Anyway, first ever fault. I've uploaded videos on my second channel for this, but you don't watch my videos, so that's all right. I know.
I watched the title whoosh by.
Whoosh by. Anyway, what would happen is you turn the car off and there's still a noise. Something's still running, even though you pull the key out. Yeah, something was still running. So I took a look. It turns out it's the ABS modulator. So the anti-lock braking system, it's the modulator box which modulates the hydraulic pressure or whatever it is going to the brakes. Man.
There's a great segue into car talk right here.
Yeah. And so, I put this up, and everyone, of course, everyone knows. Everyone was going, it's the relay, it's the MOSFETs, it's the, it's anyway. So
the turbo encabulator.
Turbo encabulator's failed. Yes. Right. And so so that's failed. Right. And so I was able to bypass it by removing one of the fuses that powers the electronics which powers it. Right. And
wait a second. So you bypass the ABS in order to fix this noise problem?
Yes. We have no anti-lock braking at the moment. But because anti-lock people don't know this, anti-lock braking systems don't actually apply the brakes. They release the brakes.
That's right. They go.
So you can pump it. Yeah. They actually pump the brakes by actually releasing the pressure on the brakes. When you bypass an ABS system, you're not actually bypassing the brake system. You're just bypassing the ability of the modulator.
You're just switching into manual mode, right?
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah. So now, if our car is actually in some sort of skid or something, we need to manually pump the brakes instead of it doing it for us. So
there you go. There's a phrase that people. I feel like pump the brakes is a phrase that people know, but they don't know.
It's black eyes. We've hit some black eyes. Start pumping the brakes to try and so you don't skid as much.
Yeah.
You're definitely still going to skid, but anti-lock. It just means the wheels don't lock up, and hence the name anti-lock braking. Yeah. So anyway, we're bypassing that, and so I phone up some repairers, and everyone warned me about this. Everyone says, "Oh, dude, that's not cheap." So I phoned up some repairers, and they're going, Unfortunately, it's serialized to the car, right? So it has active electronic serialization and programming in it. Yeah. This is like 2010.
Call up Lewis Rossman. He's gonna,
right. Yes, he'll have a rant
right
about
to repair.
Right to repair. Yeah. Anyway, so I phoned up several repairers and they all said, "Oh yeah, they're all serialized." And even then, you have to possibly get like several different wrecked ones to try and get one that works or something. Gosh. And it's like, and it's thousands of dollars. So I do have it booked into the manufacturer. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pay like $150 and they'll check it out and see if and they'll give me a quote, which I'm sure will be astronomical. So we've got to.
This is why I haven't had to own the car in so long, Dave. This is just this is the kind of shit I don't need in my life.
Yeah. Anyway, I do believe it is failed MOSFETs in there. I'm pretty sure it is, but I can't take it apart because it's so embedded. Like modern cars are so like you can't get your hands in there.
Yeah, they're modules, right? They're basically like rip and replace kind of things, right?
Well, it's mounted on the back of it, and it's right down behind the engine, and you'd have to jack it up and come from the bottom of the car just to get actually like they're so. Everything's so jam-packed inside a modern bonnet. So, yep. Anyway, so I suspect that it's going to come back and they're going to say, it's $3,000, and we're going to go, well, a 14-year-old car, is it worth spending $3,000 on a 14-year-old? Yeah, I might spend $1,000.
Put it out to pasture.
$1,000 maybe to keep it going, but, if it's a couple of grand, we're going to. And then is anyone going to buy one that has a faulty ABS?
You would be surprised.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Because the used car market during COVID, the used car market went gangbusters. It was
totally.
They cost more than a brand new car, but now I think it's back. Yeah. I think they come back to normal now, but yeah. Anyway, so we might be in the market for another car, and we were thinking about a pure EV. But nobody makes one with a big enough boot space, and if they do, it's like $100 and something $1,000, and it's crazy. We'll probably end up with maybe some hybrid or something, or we might, just buy a second-hand one.
Time to make electric yourself, Dave. Come on,
make my own electric. I got a friend who made their own electric car. Yeah,
I know.
This was like 15 years ago. This was like before even Tesla came out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, long time ago, and that's very cool stuff. But. Yeah, so I'll do that.
Yes, we've talked about how you and I would never ever do that for ourselves.
No, we haven't.
Look at other people and we're like, that's awesome.
Yep. I haven't got space to do it. I would not be allowed to have a car up on blocks in the front yard.
No, true.
No. Yeah. So I'd have to
another workspace. With a garage
I would have to hire
attached.
another garage. I'd have to hire a garage somewhere to work on something like that. Yeah,
that's how it goes.
I always wanted to convert a van into a lab.
Okay.
I think I'm sure we talked about that before.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, we definitely have.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. I still think that'd make for a great video, but it's not going to pay for the views. Aren't going to pay for the van conversion, and I'm not really going to use a van lab. So come on. Come on. Oh boy.
Yeah. Speaking of labs, I was just testing a board this afternoon. Probably the simplest board I've made in a very, very long time. It's just a USB. It's basically pilfering the 5 volts off of a USB plug and then generating 3.3 volts just to power a bunch of BBC microbits.
Been there, done that.
Demo. Yeah, and basically the hard part was just buying the connectors. The connectors for those things are surprisingly hard to get. There's
is
it doesn't
this
seem
a
like
one-off?
there should be.
If it's just a one-off, you bodge stuff. You just cut a cable and
No, this is for a trade show, so it's got to look nice.
It's got to look nice.
And I'm powering eight microbits at once. So
right, got it.
That's the real thing. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Otherwise, I agree.
Yep.
I have not used. You've used a microbit. I remember you did a video with one of your kids.
Yeah. My kids use the microbit. Yeah, fun little thing.
It's a nice little platform. I mean, I didn't realize how much stuff was on there, and it's a part that I like. I mean, it's the 52833, I think, is on there for the V2 board. Yeah, and then there's obviously all the firmware, hardware that's built up on top of it, and things like that. A bunch of LEDs. So, yeah, there's a bunch of tooling out there and different educational systems. So you had been doing the robot, right?
Yes. Yeah, we'll be. Yeah, a little line follower robot. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great little platform. So, trying to make that look trade show ready, and see how that goes.
Right.
But, yeah.
Oh, I just realised we actually had a Segway posted by someone on the Reddit, and posted by Two Scoops of Destroyer. Great name.
As you do.
And it's a software update on a door handle. It's like, is that a Tesla door handle? I'm like, there's a photo of this white door handle. No, because the Tesla doesn't have a door handle, does it? No.
It has the pop-out door handle.
Well, it has a pop-out thing, yeah. But this is like a proper old school door handle. And apparently they're just showing a photo of them updating the firmware in their door handle. It's like, oh God, no, you're doing it wrong. How to know you're doing it wrong? Updating, when your door handle needs firmware.
You got to have lots of fancy stuff on there, though. I mean, come on.
God.
Ground lighting and this definitely looks. This is not the Tesla one. The Tesla one is.
Oh yeah,
cool.
It's a pop out and it's totally integrated with the door, so it's all flush. Yeah. No, this one looks like it's just bolted on the outside of the door. It's a white handle with a little button on the side, and yep. I don't know. Maybe that's where like the key fob thing is, because mine's got my EV has a Prox key fob. So only when I
press the button.
Yeah. So only when I get within I have to be within like half a meter of the door before the door will open. So or the door will allow me to press the button. So I don't know where the antenna for that is. I presume it's in the handle, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think it's in the center of the car.
Yeah, I think it's in the center of the car? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so unfortunately there's no detail on this, so I don't know what door hand. So we can't savage the company involved. I wish I knew which one it was. Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing. Like all these firmware updates, like they just pass. Like you think about how many micros are on a car these days.
Is the answer,
right? And they're all just hanging off the CAN bus. So there's basically something that's downloading all the firmwer updates and then pushing them over the CAN,
and then pushing them locally.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so like there's just something there listening, and then there's like multiple CAN buses too. Like when Ken was on the show, Ken Tindell was on the show, he talked about a lot of this stuff. And you just kind of chuck them down the line and see who's listening.
Right.
Here's your update. So I think this is just weird because this is detached, obviously.
This is obviously detached from the car. It's sitting on the bench or whatever. It's sitting somewhere.
Yeah, right.
They're just plugging in some sort of programmer into it and updating the firmware on the bloody handle. Oh, my God. Yep. Anyway, I can't talk. My 2010 Nissan Duales has to, the ABS system is bloody firmware integrated with the and serialized or something and has to be programmed. Oh, God. It's just, why? Well, what's the advantage of that? Jesus, there's none.
Features of differentiators, Dave. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Like, I don't know. Like I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I'm like super jazzed about having just like Android Auto at this point.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, boy. I don't use Android Auto because it's too much of a sort of like mine does support it, but our phone up until recently we haven't had phones that adequately supported the version. It's like all version specific.
You're like trailing. Yeah.
It's all But I think it technically does work. But then you've got to plug your phone into the car where you got to plug it into the USB port. So that's just more wear on the USB port on your phone. It's like I couldn't be bothered. So, yep. But technically, I think we can get Android Auto working now, and it integrates with our map display or something. It can show Google Maps, can't it? Can it show Google Maps? Is that how it works? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
it's basically like not mirroring, but it's like refactoring your phone screen and showing it on the main display.
Yeah. So which just makes it easier to see because the display is nearer to your field of vision. You don't have to,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what is yours, like a big touchy-feely screen in the new EV?
It is, yeah. It's like a 10-inch touch screen.
Yep. Got it.
But I just use the Android's auto, so I don't really use the main main stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because ours has some weird-ass European bloody or Japanese or something, or is it South Korean? What is Hyundai? They're South Korean, aren't they?
South Korean, that's right.
Yeah,
yep.
So you have some weird mapping system. Like it's okay on some things, but other things it's like, meh. I'd certainly rather be using Google Maps. So yeah.
Yep.
And it's a pain in the ass. Just the user interface. God, can I bitch about user interfaces for a minute? It's like my old Garmin, right? Before GPSs were actually integrated in cars, you bought like a little GPS, like a Garmin or a TomTom or something like that, right? And my Garmin would be nice. Like you start typing in the address you want to go to, right? So it's like something road, Railway Street. So you type in R, A, and then it'll give you a list of, and then it will narrow down the list. But my EV, you have to type in the exact number, the exact street name, the exact street prefix before it'll even start to give you a thing. And it's like, oh, God, I don't know how to spell. Like, I just want to type in the first couple of characters and then it pop up, it should have like a list, a database in it. It should know that I'm trying to get these amount of roads in this particular state or suburb or whatever. So it should narrow it down, but it doesn't. So you've got to type in the exact street address. And if you don't type street instead, like if you type ST instead of street, it doesn't know. It's like, oh, God, Oh, no, bad user interface design. Like just awful, horrendous. It just makes me not want to use it. Pain in the ass.
Yeah, that sucks.
Just totally ruins it. Like once it's in there, like I love how it's integrated because mine has the map, not the map, but the drive, like the turn directions show up in my center thing straight in front of the wheel, so I don't have to glance over to the main actual display. I can just glance down at the steering wheel and it shows me the next turn and stuff like that. So, which is really handy. So I love how that's all integrated, and then they screw it up by having an unusable bloody data entry system. It's just data entry. They screw it up. Unbelievable. End of rant.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
No, I can't stand it. Drives me nuts. Anyway.
I have been working on a new project where I'm tapping off of batteries, DeWalt batteries. Have you done any battery stuff like on power drills and stuff like that?
No, that's quite common. Apparently, people love to do that sort of thing. But I don't.
I was searching for some interfaces, and the most common one that I saw was power wheel conversions. Do you guys have power wheels down there?
What's a power wheel?
Power wheels. It's like the kid toy. Like it basically looks like a little car, and it's powered by like a little 12-volt battery.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, we had something like that. Yep.
They were always like lead acid and like terrible to recharge.
They're 12-volt
like
gel batteries or whatever,
Yeah, and they always like lost. It was just trickle charging. And
they've just got a plug pack with the diode and the capacitor, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were like very underwhelming. And so basically, your best drive is your first drive kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
And so the number one thing when I was searching around for like DeWalt battery, so I have DeWalt system for my tools and stuff like that. So I was looking for like an interface.
So okay.
Cool. And the number one thing for that is basically an interface to then go and it's got like a fuse inline and a switch inline, so you can go and power your kids' power wheels and then recharge the batteries with a lithium ion thing. Yeah, which is it's great. I mean, like
cool. It's great.
It's like perfect, like
perfect
dad project. Yep.
Yep. Totally.
That is not what I was doing. I'm looking at tapping off this thing, but I was surprised to see there's there's a bunch of there's like basically just a B plus B minus if you wanted to just be like for instance, the power wheel thing, it's just tapping off there.
Right.
But then there's actually balance. Like you can basically get at each
you can get at each cell. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. The Bosch system has it has 4 terminals, I think. So I'm not sure what the other 2 do. I assume temp sensor or something.
Yeah, this one has a thermistor, it has an ID pin, and then it has 4 individual cell pins.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of pins. DeWalt.
Yeah, it is.
Let me have a look at the DeWalt.
Yeah. So it's like two main, and they're like, so it's like a blade.
Oh, and then like that's a lot.
Capture for blade.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
And so it's only really the charger that has the additional pins on it, right? If you look at the drill, it's just like thermistor and the ID pin.
Yeah, so there's 5 pins. So it's battery plus battery. Yeah, the Mr. and ID are combined.
There's 8 pins.
Oh, there's 8. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So if you
I'm
look down you have to look at like a dead on kind of thing because there's like underneath to like separate those.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. So it's got two separate banks of contacts.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, and that's how you get up to the 4. I think it must be a 6-cell. Right. It must be 6 cells for the.
Okay.
Let's see. 1, 2.
Yeah, it's got terminals marked C1, C2, C3, and C4. So that'd be the 4 cells, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good for like balancing and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting. I'd really cool.
Right.
I'd plugged this thing into a drill a bunch before, but never really like looked at it.
Yeah.
And,
that's great.
Yeah, I remember Jonathan at one of the meetups when I came down to Australia. He had done something similar where he was running a soldering iron off of.
I know. Quite a few people have done the hack to run their TS100 iron from their drill battery.
Oh, this was a more traditional iron. I think it was like a Hacko or something like that. Yeah, but it was. Yeah, I mean, all of these things, but it is nice to have like the infrastructure and like the standardization of the.
I love the standardization, because I've just recently bought extra Bosch items that matched my batteries. So
right.
Yeah, so I'm kind of obsessed with Bosch, give me more tools that support this battery.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, then I was like, so I was poking around, and I'm trying to make some custom hardware that plugs into this thing, but then I was like, I wonder how I can. So I'm getting towards talking about 3D modeling and how terrible I am at it, but in the midst of that,
better than me.
I was trying to find like basically how do I find something that will work with this without having to actually go and do it. And basically, you can go on Amazon or eBay or anything like that and just look up like custom battery.
There's
interface.
Like a receptacle interface, like just a bare interface, is there?
Well, it's basically like a way that they're selling all the parts without selling the battery pack, so they don't get sued by DeWalt. I think.
Got it. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So basically, this thing showed up with like basically it's like 5 18650. The space for 5 of them, and then this one is a 4 amp hour pack rather, and so it's got a double stack of that, and then it's got the interface, and it's got a bunch of boards that came with it, and like a little battery, quasi battery tester thing that's basically just like a, just testing the voltage, and telling it from that. But yeah, pretty cool. And then all I wanted though was just like the interface at the top, but then it also has the little blade receptacles as well, so like that worked out great. And the release, because there's like a fancy catch to actually get the stuff out of here. So
got it.
That was like super easy then. And then I don't know, I'm just terrible at modeling 3D stuff, so I need to make other plugs here. But I am excited about like the ability to buy this stuff. Yeah,
I just saw that somebody reversed engineered the Bosch charger, the Bosch 18-volt charger here. Wow, that's really something. I should look
at the Bosch. So it's a Bosch 18-volt?
Yes. Bosch 18-volt.
And it's lithium?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll send you the...
that looks very similar. Okay. Yeah. Huh. And that's only 5-pin, you said?
It's 4-pin.
4-pin.
Yeah, it's 4-pin.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's battery plus, battery minus, COD, which I guess is code. And then there's a thermistor pin as well. So, yep. So I don't know what the COD pin does. I have to look into that. Maybe I can do a video on that, actually reverse engineering. But somebody's already done it. That's the problem. I'm sure somebody's reverse engineered they reverse engineered the charger here, but I'm sure they've also reverse engineered the if there's any code protocol or something.
Yeah.
So
just need to get a hold of IC2 on this schematic. Yeah, I'll I think I can get this link into the notes. Yeah, it's just an image UR. So I'll add that to the notes too. Yeah. Cool, yeah. I don't know, like I don't have any interest in messing with battery chemistry really, but but like being able to use the it is interesting when you like it felt very unapproachable at first, and then when you look at it you're like, oh look, that's just like a little slot of metal, like the blade is just like a little slot of metal. It's like there's not a ton, they're trying to lower the manufacturing cost, so it's not like a ton that's going on here. It's really just the putting in good batteries and like having all that stuff ready to go, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just found somebody's got a 3D printed adapter that converts a Bosch battery to power your TS100 soldering iron. I just sent you the link.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you start to do that sort of thing, now like you have all this infrastructure to go and buy batteries.
Yep.
And not a small amount of batteries either. You have a charger, like a reliable charger infrastructure, or you could build your own, like you showed. And then basically you have like an interface to go and utilize it. So then you just need, I don't know. I'm actually really excited. I think the move to 48 volt automotive stuff, you know how that shift's happening now?
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah. Or they're trying to. Yeah, Tesla open sourced their 48 volt thing, didn't they, or something?
Yeah.
Like that.
So I think we're going to see an interesting uptick in new parts that are more voltage tolerant as well. Like, you know, it'll hit automotive grade at first, but then it'll kind of trickle down in just the commercial level parts. I'm guessing.
Yep.
Maybe they'll test them.
Not many things need that higher voltage, though. I mean, there's not, it's not really a big need for it, though. Yeah,
not yet. But if you're tapping off 48 volt buses and cars, then eventually too, like you can utilize it, and really just having the headroom is never bad, right? I mean,
no, it's not bad because you can get more power out of smaller traces, smaller wires.
Exactly.
Things like that.
Right. It's just maybe a little scarier for people at first, but then once you get used to it, I feel like it's just you talk to someone who's worked in 48 volts like lighting and stuff like that. It's fine. It's just like what you get used to.
Yep.
Just like the linemen that are working mid range 30 kilovolt.
Right.
Lines are like, no
I got no problems with 48 volts. That's fine.
Great. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Zero fear of 48 volts.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. No, it's great.
So it'll be interesting.
Have you seen the prices of these batteries, though? I don't know about your DeWalt ones, but my Bosch ones are like, Jesus, because I got them as part of a pack where I bought the drills and stuff, right? And you get one with it. And it's like, but if you have to buy new separate batteries, it's like, what, $120 or $150 for one battery?
Yeah, it's definitely like a razor blades and razors kind of model, except the razors are really expensive batteries.
And,
if there's one thing that has
you can buy the third-party ones.
Devices.
You can buy the rip-off ones for $50 instead of $150. But I don't know, they're going to be like crap, right? So,
well, I think this kit that I bought is basically like kind of make your own. So if you wanted to, you could go and put your own battery, spot weld your own batteries together and.
Well, you could, but like the Bosch ones are so good. Like I've got original 18 volt Bosch batteries from my original drill that I used to build my back deck 20 years ago, and they still work. They still work.
All right.
Although the ESR is getting a bit high because I tried to use one of them with my new blower that I've got, because I've got a Bosch vacuum cleaner now, and I've got a Bosch blower as well. So I try to use it with the blower, and the blower works for about 5 seconds, and then it cuts out to a lower speed because it can't handle. Obviously, the ESR's not. ESR's too high, and it's just dropping back or whatever. But and that only does it with my 20-year-old battery. But still, like after 20 years, this 18 volt lithium ion pack still works. Drill still works. Everything like.
Would you say your blower kind of sucks?
No, my sucker sucks. My vacuum, my blower blows.
Blower blows, right.
Totally blows, dude.
Yeah, totally blows. Yep.
That's what she said. Yep. Okay. Right. Anyway, batteries. Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
maybe I can do some videos on that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I found the other nice thing is that people have, like you linked me to printables thing, which is great. People have modeled the entire battery as well, which is nice for making interfaces. But now I have to square with myself the fact that I'm not good.
Right.
If anyone out there is a reasonably priced mechanical engineer, I would love to talk to you.
See, what would be an interesting project is like a lot of people, when the new that little Rigol 800 scope came out, a lot of people actually did battery solutions for that. And there was
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it makes sense to just, let's, if we can do something that slots in a Bosch or a DeWalt drill battery or whatever into the back of it, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
And
that's
that'd
great
be
idea.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. I watch DSLR video shooters, one of the YouTube channels I follow.
Yeah,
it's like a camera guy.
Yeah,
and he started making a lot of stuff for. He's actually manufacturing now, which is awesome.
Let me guess, he uses the Sony batteries.
Yeah, the V type, whatever those are, like the.
Yep.
Wait, no, not the Sony ones. The Sony ones are the ones that I think you told me about. Those are like the aperture. The Sony batteries, those are like the 2 pins.
My lights use the Sony batteries. Yeah, I can plug the Sony batteries into the battery.
Yeah, no, this is not that. I was actually thinking of the VMount batteries. So the Sony batteries are just literally just 2 pins, right? There's no interfaces otherwise.
There's a third one for a temp sensor, I think.
Okay.
So what's a VMount battery? I'm gonna have to.
VMount is I think it's like a 12-volt battery. It's from like the higher end like lighting industry, but then I think they have a low cost connector for it. I think it's called a VMount.
Right, yeah. It seems to be lighting, yes. My first hit is like pro lighting stuff.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay. B&H photo, right? Like,
right, yeah.
If your first hit is B&H, you know you're about to pay through the nose. Like,
right, okay.
Yeah, but they're massive batteries, right? And that's like, and then I think to make your own like interface for the V-mount, it's like the V-mount is like, because I think the as the connector slots in, it's like, it's so that you can kind of blind mate it so that the V is so that it looks basically however it slides
complicated. I'm not seeing photos where I actually get what it actually looks like. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like you see like a triangular blade, not a triangular. It's like a trapezoid blade. Like that's
there's something like that, but it's
Yeah. So V mounts are very. They're expensive batteries too, right? They're like high-end, expensive batteries used for like photo shoots and stuff like that.
Got it. Okay.
I've always ignored them. Actually, I just found a thing with Caleb on it, so I'll link that in too.
I'm staring at Google Images here, and I still don't know how it actually connects.
Yeah,
it looks complicated, but okay, if it's the pro industry standard, then so be it. You know.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that would actually probably be an interesting like crossover thing where like if you started eschewing V-mount, right? If you were in the lighting industry too, you probably could start to use like tool batteries as well, that sort of thing. So yeah.
But it limits you to the market who carry that sort of tool battery. It's like
right.
Yeah, it's kind of yep. Like if you did an interface for a iGoal scope, for example, like a battery, battery-powered interface. It's like, well, okay, I personally use Bosch, but somebody else uses Keter or something. It's like,
right.
Yep. So it's the old, make a standard, make a new standard. Okay, we made 15 standards, the XKCD thing. Right. Yeah, it's like, so, yep.
Yeah.
Too much choice.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that you'll find if you start searching around on Amazon or eBay is that another popular thing is just the converters, right? So like just going from one battery type to another if you do have, if you're switching between systems. So
I've actually never had to do that, but I can see why that'd that'd be a thing. No, I've standardized on Sony batteries here in the lab because I've got mostly all Sony cameras. And as I said, my lights here, my studio lights can take Sony batteries, but I don't often use those. I've actually gone through quite a few of those Sony V100 batteries or whatever. Because I can't buy, I don't buy the genuine ones because they, cost an absolute like $200 a battery or something insane, right? Especially the really high capacity ones. In fact, hang on, I've got.
Those are like 6 cells up too. I think like the really thick ones are like they're like six cells inside of them, right?
Yes,
they're like real chonky.
Yeah, and even the thin one, which looks like it has two 18650s in it, that's the NPF 550 I've got here. That's a low profile one. I use that on my low profile lights. But my bigger studio lights, they can take the real big monsters.
And Dave's buying the secondhand stuff. The newer,
it's like
nearer.
Yeah, that.
How do you say that? How do you say that?
I have no idea how it's
newer
or something. Newer. I don't know.
It's like newer, but it's got an extra E at the front.
Yeah. It's got a. I just call it newer.
Yeah.
Some shit third-party brand,
Yeah,
it's okay. I've actually got some of this stuff. It's okay. It's not genuine, of course, but it's good enough for Australia, kind of thing. Yeah. So anyway, So yeah, I buy I'm actually staring at a newer battery right now, and yeah, I've had quite a few of those fail on my lights, but I think that's because there's a design issue with my Aperture Amaran lights, and I've done a repair video on one of these where I actually repaired a MOSFET, which is part of the charge circuit in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was killing my batteries. Like I would something wrong with the battery, so I buy a newer battery or whatever, and I stick it in there, and a week later that one's died too, because the bloody thing was like a virus. It was, it was like transferring the virus and just killing these batteries, killing them dead. You couldn't freaking revive them. Pain in the ass. And I tried to revive them too. Like you can put a fixed voltage on them for a set period of time and try and revive the cells and stuff, but no, it just killed them dead. So only pain in the ass. So yeah, I rarely use the batteries in those big lights anymore. I only use them on the small ones. Don't trust the damn things. Kill all my batteries, bastards. Yep.
Yeah, it is. It was a nice thing when I finally started to start demystifying, like learning the lithium ion curve and stuff like that. Just like the charging, what you need to do, like being able to put it on a source meter or something like that, and just be like, okay, program the current and then put it into compliance, and it's fine, right? Yes. Compliance is 4.2 and you're good, right? Like, okay,
right?
Yeah, that was a nice, like, I don't know. Prior to that, it was just like, oh, the charger does all the work, and it's like, no, you actually, if you learn the curve and
if you learn the curves, and you can do it at home. I've got a video that's a tutorial on charging lithium ion batteries with your home power supply. You put the constant, you put the compliance voltage so it doesn't go over, and you put in constant current mode, and it's it's going to switch, and then it floats at that voltage and does a float charge and blah blah blah. Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Great.
Yep. All good. It's kind of a bit more complicated to charge your new EV though. It's a bit.
I will not be doing that. Yeah.
Right.
I am curious about what it's going to take to. To keep that battery going. I don't know how that works over time either.
Well, I used to only charge mine to 80% unless I was like going on some big road trip and then I charge it to 100%, right? Yeah. But I generally only charge it to 80%, but now I've started charging it to 90%. So in the last 2 years, I think. So the first 2 years I did it to 80%, so that helps the life of the battery. But now it's 90%. So yeah, you definitely don't want to charge it 100% all the time. Don't do that. That will.
Well, my power points in my garage aren't working at all, so I'm not charging at all right now.
Oh right. Well, good luck. Okay, you're going to be stranded in a few days' time.
Fine, man. Like that's the thing. I've used like 60 miles of range so far, and that's been like a week.
So you're still the original charge from the dealer.
Pretty much, yeah. This is like I'm using dealer power. Get my money's worth.
Yeah, right.
All the crap they put me through. Ugh, I hate car dealerships.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the worst. Yeah. It's the worst. God.
But yeah. The last thing I was going to say about this stuff is CAD modeling. I would like to talk to someone, but otherwise, I think I might try Onshape. I might try and use this as a way to learn Onshape because I have a really good base model, and I can make stuff to plug into this. And also, I even found a model. So I printed the model of the battery. I have that sitting on my desk. Probably, if you've heard me playing with plastic here, it's probably me playing with this battery.
Right.
And then I even found an interface board, like a nicely done interface board or interface plug for that, which actually, it's like has like a slot for putting in the blade contacts. Yeah. So that's good. So I have that as a reference point as well. But I have to then go and replicate it. And it's just been like so long that since I've been doing parametric modeling that I got to go and figure out how to copy something.
Yeah.
So,
no, I've got a video on my second channel where I converted one of my magnifying lamps. I converted one of my magnifying lamps to use my Sony battery. And let me see if I can find that for you. And because I know you desperately want to see it, Chris.
No, I'm just always like, I'm out of. Dave doesn't make enough videos. I need to find something to watch. I really hope he sends me something to watch.
Here we go. Sony battery lamp hack. It was an exclusive video, but I did actually release it publicly later. So there it is there. And so I was how do I design contacts or something for the Sony battery, because I plug in my existing Sony camera battery into this illuminated lamp, right? Yeah, so it's a lamp driving some LED, so it's like a handheld thing. And I went, no, bugger, that's too much trouble. So I just bought a cheap eBay charger and just hacked it to bits. I just hacked out the guts out of it and then just soldered onto the back of the PCB on the terminals. So,
right, and that is the hardest thing, right? And you want to make sure you have
totally.
Good contact.
The physical interface. I didn't want to dick around, and the tolerances are tight, and it's like I just want to put this together in 5 minutes. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. So Yep. So there you go.
Maybe I should do the same and just like Bondo 2 of these designs together.
Yep.
in the short term,
it's vastly easier. Yeah. So that was a really
another trade show
project.
thing, though, Dave. Another trade show thing.
I don't know. I've had hacks on the trade show stand.
I know. It's all about the movie magic, how much you can get.
Right. Yeah.
If anyone's listening and going to be at Embedded World,
right. Embedded World,
Pay
Germany.
no attention to the man behind the curtains.
Right. Yes. Yep. And again, there is a prize if you can snap a photo of Chris at the Embedded World just looking on the stand, just looking sort of depressed or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the best.
You can catch me at all this time. I think it's going to be I'm not going to be on the stand that much. So.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Running around
like
a
you're
chick with
doing
my head
secret
off.
meetings with all clients and
secret
stuff.
meetings. Bingo. Right. There it is. Yeah.
That's the ticket, laddie. Yep.
Secret meetings. But I have lots of hacks. Hacks with me.
Okay.
Try and bring my CH32 V003 boards.
Excellent.
Untouched since the last time we talked about it.
Right. Yeah. Join the club. Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Well, I think our amp hour's up.
Yeah. Off to do some battery hacking here. That was a lot of battery stuff and car stuff this time.
Cars and batteries. Yep.
Cars and sure. Batteries and cars.
Yep. What is your AI image generation engine of choice these days? Because I know there's because we used to use Midjourney, but now there's Gemini will make them. Although it won't make it if you've got a person in it, because Gemini is entirely racist, so they actually took that out. So they removed the ability to generate pictures with people in them.
That was their short-term fix, huh?
Yeah, that was short-term fix was just 0 people. But
I have not used the other ones yet. I still use this Midjourney.
Right.
Stuff,
okay.
So.
Yeah, I've still got my Midjourney subscription. So I generate those. But
the
Gemini ones are only small though. They only generate like small outputs. I haven't figured out how to make like a bigger version of it yet. So
Midjourney's great because they started doing upscaling and stuff like that too.
You can do upscaling.
You can get like 4K. Yeah, 4K photos.
You still need the paid version for that, right? To get all that fancy stuff, don't you? Or
I don't know, because I'm just like so flush with cash, Dave. I'm just
just
throwing
the
money
UEV.
at AI services. No big deal.
Right,
high end. Living that high life.
Well, I'm thinking about stopping my subscription to OpenAI because I don't use it much anymore. And
I mean, you could use Bing instead. I feel like this is going to be the.
Yeah, there's Gemini, there's Grok. Like Gemini just works. Like you don't have to log in or something. You just go there and boom. Well, I'm already logged into my Google account, I guess.
I think there's going to be a lot of. I think it's going to be like the streaming services too, where there's going to be a lot of like free trials.
Oh
and
yeah,
you normalized everything, and you'd be like, oh, all right, yeah, I forgot I have.
I forgot I'm paying $12
Netflix,
a month towards that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Keep an eye on you. What we need is an AI thing to keep an eye on our credit card statements.
That's like I was looking at my account the other day, and I went, oh, what's this charge? And it's bloody OpenAI. I haven't used that in a month. It's like
right.
Yep. And it's not cheap either.
Have it write you a poem, Dave.
Yep.
That's all you need. Get your money's worth.
Right. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, I think we'll see more and more of that stuff. I heard someone, I think it was on Pivot, Scott Galloway was talking about like how AI services are kind of commodity.
They're almost commodity now, yeah.
Yeah, right. We're already kind of like into that space, which is kind of interesting to think about. But like, it is, you think about just like all the product announcements you see for just AI this, AI that, where it's just like, oh, this stuff again. Like, why do I need Notion to write some part of a document of just generic stuff where it doesn't know what I'm talking about? Like at that point, why do anything? Like, no, I actually am here for a reason. I'm going to do it. You know,
right.
like. Yeah,
and the unfortunate thing is that each one has its own kind of niche thing that it does well.
Yeah, right.
OpenAI do a thing, Midjourney will do one thing, Gemini will do another, Grok will do another thing for live news or whatever, like summaries and like everything's got it. Like there's no one to rule them all, So you kind of like, if you're serious about using it, you got to like have a subscription to all the bloody things.
Right, exactly. That's why it's like streaming,
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah, because you can never watch anything. You can't find anything.
That's right, exactly.
I've got five streaming services.
Right, exactly. Like, how do I watch Oppenheimer? Oh, it's on this streaming service. Okay.
Yeah, well, last night we just watched Ghostbusters Afterlife, and we had to pay for that. It's like, Jesus, none of the streaming services that I own. Really? Okay. Just had to pay, $4 or $5 or something to watch
exactly.
Ghostbusters
That's halfway to
Afterlife,
a streaming month, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
because they it was on a streaming service and they've removed it.
Yeah, that's what they're training us for, Dave. To just accept what they give us.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Bend over,
preferences,
take it up. Yep.
and we need to have the things that we want.
We're consumers, damn it. We have power.
I want it right now.
Oh, God. Anyway, yep.
All right. Well, if anyone's still listening, thanks for paying for this streaming service with your attention and your time. Sorry for all the bad jokes.
Catch you next time.
See ya.